Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Katrina Parker. My name is Katrina. I am a black female sitting in a black chair with a white beige background. I'm wearing a black shirt with turtleneck long sleeve. My hair is short and curly with gold hoop earrings. I'm also wearing lashes. But anyway, hello. Um, I am from New Jersey and I do a lot of things for a living. Most of the time I volunteer. I am part of the deaf advocacy group in New Jersey. I am also an actress in a TV show. I do a lot for the deaf community. I do digital product creating. I do tasks, help deaf community with tasks. I do a lot of things, and also health and wellness because it's a lifestyle that we all need it. So I'm excited for this topic because, like I said, I'm an actress, and not a lot of people hear much from an actress perspective about deaf being in media. So I'm excited to share with you guys any information that I have and my feedback and all of that. So I look forward to this amazing podcast. Hey, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Ah,
he was a deaf actor who trained. Looking down, it's because I took some notes. So I'm going to voice for myself.
Okay, sorry. Um, yeah, like Ryan was saying, it had changed a lot slowly, but it's improving. Um, yes, back then they always had the deaf people as like a stereotype period, like you said, like they have to fix the deaf people, they can't talk, they can't hear, they can't do nothing, like a I don't know what, but now it has changed and it's more advocacy. People are using their voice to stand up for themselves. And before that, they didn't know that deaf people have their own voice. Now it's thriving and saying like, hey, what about us? We need to share our own story. We're not um enable. We can do a lot of things. We are different people, unique people, and can put it in the dub film or human film. But right now, oh, thank you. Anyway, uh, um, but yes, now it's a little more authenticity in it, more black, deaf. People are involved, BIPOC people are involved, and gay, lesbian, any gender identity are involved. It's still a work in progress, like Ryan said. It's still a work in progress because even though it's not new, it's new, like real growing. A lot of the stuff people are still frustrated because it's too slow. We've been going through a lot, but it takes time and it's important to keep advocating for our stuff. You know, never stop, don't give up and say, oh, we did it again, saying the same thing. No, just keep going because other stuff actually paves the way for us to keep going and we need to maintain that and don't give up on that. So I look forward to more stuff action being involved. I look forward to that one. Yes.
Ryan saying, I agree.
This is Deanna. Like you've mentioned, things need to be fixed. Like historically, we have been responsible for keeping things where they are. But honestly, one thing I've noticed is like deaf representation is children of the lesser God. That was the first time. I don't remember seeing anything before that film. And then as time went on, things sporadically started to come up. But I always wondered how much representation am I missing with Black and Brown people, LGBTQ people? There's so many different intersectional groups of people that we're missing. And so I hope to see that expand more as time changes and over time, because deaf children need to have something to look up to and be like, oh, I can also do that thing too. So is there anything we want to add before I go to the next question? Go ahead, Ryan.
Yeah, we have an hour, so yeah, we can keep it moving.
So I'm curious about what kind of stereotypes do you typically see when you notice deaf people in the media? What are the common stereotypes? Yeah, sure. Do you mind pulling up the question, please? What are the common stereotypes or misconceptions about deaf people who are in the media? Like when we watch, we'll be like, "Oh, that's not true. That's not true." Let me think of an example. Oh, for example, Deaf You, the Netflix documentary about Gallaudet. I heard that there was a lot of negative feedback because it didn't accurately convey deaf people and deaf culture. So, what are your thoughts on that? Go ahead, Katrina.
So there was one film I saw. I'm not sure what was the name of the film. When they show a deaf female, right? It was a scary movie, and she was like in the house by herself. I forgot the name of the movie, and it showed that she can't like recognize anything. We deaf people are visual. Like we can catch. Just because we can't hear don't mean we don't notice change somewhere. And they always have film like that people, but that's not always true. Okay. We do notice something. Um that's one of the things I don't like. They always show that people can't hear mean they can't see. That's not true. You can't see, notice something. You can't figure out something. We're not dumb. We're not like basic. Can't figure something out. Some of us are skilled. Like we can figure it out on the spot, and we can stop crime, stop clues, stop what's going on. Things like that. I understand it's new to the hearing people because they don't even know or understand their culture. But at the same time, why are you telling some story and you don't even understand it? It's like telling someone else telling your story in the film and they explain it wrong. They portray them wrong, thinking that people can't do much of nothing at all because we can't hear. So that's my thing.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. Ryan's saying, yeah.
Thank you for moving me up. I saw the audience had something, but Christy Mayweather said one of the problems there are too many deaf people wanting to become actors and actresses, but not enough writers. Deaf, hard of hearing, deaf blind writers are what makes the deaf, hard of hearing, deaf blind characters more authentic. So thank you, Abby, for joining us. Thank you, everyone who joined us. Feel free to keep the comments coming.
Okay. All right. Great. So, yeah, what Katrina shared, I'm in 100% in agreement with what you said, and it's an interesting point of view. Children of a Lesser God. When you watch that, the author was a good friend with the deaf actress and developed the script hand in hand with her for Broadway, and it was on Broadway before it became a film. So
Oh,
that
wow.
topic, um, to translate to translate it into sign language, this is what it would look like. Like these individuals
Mm,
are less. God looks at these individuals as lesser than.
I see.
So when we look at it in English versus what it looks like in sign language, that means we are the lowest of God's children. Deaf people are saying. So the author realized how that would look to us, and that speaks for itself. The representation of societal perception of us and what our reality is. Like the Black deaf reality, the white deaf reality, those are two different perspectives. And how those show up on film, um, again, society has internal biases that they are aware of and unaware of. So as scripts are being written, like Christy Merriweather mentioned, it's the writer. The writer is in control of the framing. And that's so important. And for the longest time, there weren't deaf authors. There weren't deaf people who made decisions in Hollywood until just recently. So this month? Yeah, this month at Sundance Film Festival. Have you heard about what's happening? They're going to show 2 films that are made by deaf. That has never happened before. And that's a really exciting time for the community, those 2 films. One of them is called Weeds. I can't remember which channel it was on. I believe it was on Showtime. And the actor became a writer, became a producer, and created a film about Marlee Matlin's life. So finally, there is a deaf-led production. And Niall DeMarco, a well-known for being on Dancing with the Stars, he was in America's Top Model. He co-produced and directed with a famous writer. That writer is Guillermo del Toro, I believe. So both of those films will be shown at Sundance Film Festival this month, which is amazing. So we've definitely come a long way. But as Katrina mentioned, and as Christy mentioned, who is control of the framing? Who is making the decisions? Who's writing? Who's directing? That is really key, because we've struggled for so long, begging, asking, please, please. And now we need to take the lead.
Okay, I have a question for Ryan. You said it's 2 films in Sundance. So 2. Is it like any Black or just white? Okay. Of course,
No Black individuals are involved.
the
Yeah.
most privileged. Great is them coming in, but tend to be someone they know, are familiar with. They pick someone familiar, and that's mostly well known. Ryan, say something? Okay.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to what Katrina's point one. 100%. You're absolutely correct. I am very aware of that. Now, do you know Lauren Ridloff? Now, she is a producer who's working on a project with those individuals. She doesn't advertise that. She can't, it's contracts. So I'm giving you insider secrets that she's working on some projects. Now, she has one project that is in progress she's gathered her team of Black deaf individuals, writers, and it's in development. And then COVID happened and it messed up the production. So that did happen recently. I don't know the specifics of it, but that's one project. But she is a biracial, she's Mexican, Black, actually, she's 3 different races. She's a deaf woman who does, work in production. We haven't seen the work yet, but it is coming.
Hopefully we see that soon. That's a perfect segue into my next question. You can keep on dialogue. I really appreciate it. I thought if you can pull up the question, how do portrayals of deaf culture impact societal attitudes towards deaf communities, such as LGBT people and people of color?
Katrina, do you want to take the lead on that one?
All you, girl. It's all you. You and your notes.
And my notes, I'm gonna look for it. How often do we see intersectional representation? Um, of course, historically tend to be white, pretty white. Obviously, this new Sunday film, white again, of course. That's what they're comfortable with. Okay. But we do have more of the black actors, BIPOC actors, gay lesbian. Not so much I noticed yet, but I look forward to seeing more inclusion of variety of depth from different backgrounds. Um, Still there's some lack of awareness because that community is small. So it's not a lot of way to get food to the human producer. Only they work with those who already part of Step Mitre in LA, wherever, Atlanta, wherever. But there's other deaf writers that have different backgrounds that deaf writers don't even know and haven't met, which is why I think it's important that us deaf people start um gain 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 confidence to like say yes you can do it. You're a good writer. A friend of mine, she's a writer. She's inspired to write, but I'm waiting for her to write. She's an amazing person, but no one knows about her yet. So it's important that we do the work for more stories, more BIPOC, that's fine, and all of that because we see that in hearing, we need more in the stuff so they feel, and the stuff people want to see themselves in the film, feel, and they feel inspired, feel like the deaf youth is important because now it's a lot of mental health, and they watch TV, watch social media, but they don't see enough deaf advocacy, deaf film. They see it once in a while, and that's it. So we need more of that. Um, that's all I'm saying.
That was beautiful. We'll go ahead and pass it over to you, Ryan.
Yeah, so a few films, for example, Creed 3, they did have the young deaf actress who was in it. Her mother, became deaf, was the storyline. So the family learned sign language and the girl was born deaf. So that's great, and they were non-white characters. Another film in Godzilla versus Kong, there was some non-white representation of deaf people there. So I do know um, there was a person who set up a training camp to create the kind of a on-site training, and that's really key. That's really important. As Katrina was saying, the opportunity to learn hands-on, where is that? White people have their network, and if you're not if you're not in that network, how do you get in? How do you gain that groundwork, gain that experience, get those internships, figure out how the game is played, so to speak? So those trainings take investment. It takes training. That's really key, and that's really important. So it's for sure not enough representation. As things go on, again, those who have privilege, those who have access, those who have the network and the opportunity, they have to actively reach out and build each other up. That's so important. What I'm hoping is that the more writers there are, the more producers there are, that will build the clout, and they can get the financing and get those connections so that studios are willing to invest, that they already trust their work. They trust that the production will bring in profit. So once those connections are made, then they can pull others in. Then they can keep the wheel in motion. The productions can be made, and that kind of ecosystem can be set into motion.
Okay. Um, mentioned that J Bryant, she's crafted on acting and all of that. I was one of her students, and I was also her main actress for her new TV show. Yeah. I would say that you're right because someone like Jay Bryant, she that fine, all that, she's familiar with that industry. It's important to connect with people who understand the industry and you can get good training. When I took her classes, I think one class, I was very learning. It's new to me. It's my first time acting. It was new to me, but she explained very clear, very direct, sometimes strict instead because in the acting world with the hearing, they don't even care. They don't care about the deaf. So she's hard on the deaf to say, push your stuff out, push it out, your emotion, your character, get get really into it. And that's when I learned so much from her, especially when she could sign and all of that, and connected with other deaf actors. They were a part of the film too. And then understand I was not the first pick for the show. It was other. I was actually the third pick. And I have to thank Adrian. She's like on my hand for Jay, worked with Jay for many years, and she saw something in me and said, give me a chance. And I thank her for that because Jade is she knows what she wants. She knows, she's familiar with that. So, but you have someone else who sees something in you. You never know. You are actually good until you try it. So I thank Adrian for that and I became the main actress for the show. And people have watched a private screener. It was amazing. They wanted to see more. They watched it, and then when it stopped, they was like, "No more. With more?" They want to see more because it's totally the cast. Hearing like interpreter, coder was involved. It was amazing. And like Ryan said, it's important to get training from someone who's familiar in that industry. But also, we that people need to do the work. Okay, we can't just say, "Hey, I found you.
That.
I
Hmm.
understood, I know everything." No, we need to put in the work. Okay, because it's like a lot of the deaf people you notice tend to give up easily when something's not right or they think it's not good enough. It don't mean
Hmm.
you can make it. You can. You just gotta be consistent, find the right coach who respects you and can advocate for you, maybe find you in different positions, but still be a part of film industry, whatever. But don't give up. And the deaf people we're small community and sometimes we with each other, judge each other, fight with each other, and then now we don't have enough that actions because y'all fighting each other. But what's the point? You want to see more, you work
Hmm.
together, figure it out. This is business, not personal. Keep it separate. All right?
There we go.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Amen to that. And drop the mic. So now we're going to go ahead with our commercial break. If you have your phone ready to take a picture of the QR code for the event that will be coming up soon, we'll be back soon. that link to everyone. So you can go ahead and that will lead you to the website to sign up. Thank you so very much. I just had a thought. You mentioned Jade Bryan and all the wonderful work that she's doing and taking the acting classes and how you've seen that was very beneficial to you. And that is also a rare opportunity. So hats off to you for having the initiative to invest in yourself and the community, but also making your dreams become a reality because you're right. It is easy to give up. We forget all the work that we put in, and we're born to survive and we can get through and we're resilient. You know, people give up, but we're resilient people. And so that's our reality. We have to be resilient. We have to keep going. We can't give up at the first thing. You know, it's easy, you know, you get hired and you do the thing, but sometimes you want to appreciate your achievements. If you've been working hard for it and you want more. So I get it. And you keep going, but then you don't really appreciate your craft and your work. And so we need to have those little bits of light. We need to have those moments where hindsight is 2020 and we look back at all the progress we made. And also, um, other deaf people will look up at you. You can become a role model to those who maybe forget. It's not about you, it's about the bigger picture. It's about the people who will look up to you, the people who would see themselves in you. And so we also have to change the way we think about this topic. And like I said, the main theme of this is resiliency. So, Katrina, you have more to add? Go ahead.
Yeah, I would like to add something. Sometime in the industry where you're learning how to do acting, you might have like tension with your manager, your host, your coach. It doesn't mean you have to tolerate because your mental health is declining. If you can't get along with that person, there's always someone else. You may have to go die. If not many you can find in ASL, but you can do Zoom training. Always don't give up. Figure it out. Look for other ways to be a part of acting training and things like that. So even though I am saying work hard for it, but still put yourself first. Don't let anyone disrespect you. Not even the manager, the coach, the no. I have that experience, and I didn't let it affect me because I was strong in my mind and my heart. I know who I am. So as long as you know your stuff, you know what you need. You don't have to stay with that person and tolerate a lot. There's always someone up. You just gotta look for it and trust your stuff. And we will see you guys on the film.
That was a word. So that was beautifully summarized. And also, you're right. It's so important to live your truth authentically, to know yourself, because no one knows ourselves better than ourselves. We can't force them to live our lives. We're the only ones who can show our lives. We're the only ones who can demonstrate our authenticity to a bigger audience. And so, yeah, beautifully summarized. And that leads me to my next question. You mentioned the internship and about making more opportunities for deaf people behind the camera, writers, directors, producers. Do you think that that shapes how we see deaf people?
Yeah, this is Ryan. Such an important question. For example, there's another writer that they often work together as a team, and they took a writing workshop, you know, which involved Hollywood people who were involved in the industry, people who knew the Hollywood ins and outs. Now, if they wanted to have more deaf writers, they would have to become those writers. So they went ahead and did that. They took the trainings, they became writers themselves, and they were successful. They co-wrote and produced by, I can't remember who bought their show. I forget which channel bought their show, but they did it. They went through it. They went through the process of writing and pitching and pitching and pitching and failing and pitching over and over and over. And they found a buyer who was willing to finance their production. So it's not easy, but the passion and the desire, that paved the way, and they were able to do it. And that's a great example. Lauren Ridloff is a great example. She grew up, she saw the industry, she saw the rules of the industry, she had a vision, and as time went on, she did it. So the point is, for a long time, the reason why deaf have been, in Hollywood for a long time, but we haven't seen them take the lead. We've been hoping others are given the chance. We hope others open the door for us. And then finally, there have been these successes. And I've been noticing it more and more and more. And it's because we're taking the lead, because we're putting that effort in, and because there's more deaf people now who have skill behind the camera as DPs, as cinematographers, as grips, as, in lighting, in writing, in producing, and all these different skill sets. We're making gains there. And that is where the doors will be open for other deaf individuals. So those of you who are watching and are thinking, wanting to be in the industry, you have to be that person. You can't sit there and hope that somebody else does it. If so, you'll be waiting for a long time. So you have to be that person to go ahead, go get that training, go put that work in.
Yes, yes. It's important for you to mention that. I can't emphasize that enough. We have to encourage those hard of hearing, deaf, blind people. If they want to get involved, you know, you can't hide. You can't be can say, "Oh, I want to be a writer. I want to be a director. I wish I could be behind the scenes." Put down your name, go to the workshop, chase after your dreams. So that's really it. Come on. We need all of you. You'll become bigger. And so you get involved and make it happen. We got you. We'll support you. Like we said, the deaf community is so small, and the infighting and crab in a barrel mentality. Oh no, you think you all that. You think you better. We need to stop it. It needs to cease to exist. We've had enough. That time is over. And so whenever you win, we win too. Your win is everybody's win. And don't forget about that. So we'll be your cheerleaders. We'll support you. We've come a long way. We have Wawa. What's the little cute boy? Kevon. Yeah, we have Kevon. We have so many people. We have different actors who are here and who are coming. And so the more of us, they need to hear more of us. So, we can also support each other. Most people know that you got their back. That's what we want. Amber is saying one day, nowadays with so many social media and more exposure to authentic deaf actors and actresses, there's no excuse not to seek other people for specific roles that fit, like deafblind, BIPOC, etc. We all need to take accountability. Amen to that. You are preaching to the choir. And this is from Christy again. It's not about developing relationships with those working in the industry, because getting your project seen can be very dependent on who you know rather than the quality of your talent, especially if it's on the Hollywood level. That can mean being willing take out your comfort zone. You have to become yeah, thank you, Christy, for your point. You do have to become comfortable with interacting, intermingling, with hearing people. And sometimes it is the card that you got in your back pocket, and you got to learn how to play the game. Everyone's doing it. Sometimes you have to do what you have to do. And it's for our community too. Hello, all of that attitude, oh, you social, we're trying to open the doors for you. So if you do see people interacting and intermingling, yes, for you, we trying to help you out, girl. We trying to help you. Do you want to walk through this door? Come on. You know, you can go right on in, but you also have to be willing. You have to recognize what's happening. You have to get out of your comfort zone. Um, Amy is right. There's so many of us who are deaf, social media influencers, all of these people. So, excuse me. Anyway, they're doing their thing. They're confident. They're saying their things. So you can be an actress. If you want to do more for yourself, come join a panel. Become a panelist. Email us. We'll be happy to have you here. Spotlight you. Yeah, girl. Hello, hello. You see me, girl. Okay. So join us. Become a panelist. RC, you want to add anything?
Yeah, I have so many things, but I'm not sure if I'm skipping ahead to your next question, so we can roll on to the next question.
Go ahead, Katrina.
Okay. I'm like, let me use my phone. Ah, but anyway, something Amy said. Oh yeah, talk about many social media influencers are now being recognized and seen. Yeah, they can use that as an advantage to see who has talent. Some of them do like a reel, active reel, short reel, and all of that. That's amazing. At the same time, it's not always that easy to get in the industry because they still need to know if you can handle it, if you have the talent and stuff. You can't be good on social media but bad in the film. So, but at the same time, I think they should give us the chance because you see us on social media, and we, that community, need to put it out there and share more often for the hearing people to see it and like the other person say, kiss the Mary Mother. It's about who you know. So you never know who you know, connect and see it, and give them an opportunity to be a part of the film. Yeah.
Amen to that. So this comments from Amy. Those allies need to step up and make noise for us, especially the interpreters. Sorry to say they are not showing faces at deaf events or fundraising events. Well, you not lying.
Yeah.
Katrina, I'm passing over to you.
Yeah. There was one person. I think you guys are familiar with that person. They were himself an interpreter, and he was supposed to be a interpreter for a person who was being cast for the show. You guys hear about that? Yes, we need
Girl, did
to
we? Did
out
we?
there.
Yes,
Sometimes
girl.
they are looking at the interpreter, so that's kind of. I wish the interpreter knows their place. They know it's not okay. You look good, you do good, you can voice well. Don't give you the right to take the role or take the role of a person who is trying to audition for it. So, um, yes, I would love the allies to help us out, but please know your place. No offense.
And that's that. I agree. Um, RC, you want to add something before we move on?
I'm ready. I'm waiting for the next question. I have nothing to add. I have nothing to add.
So now our last question of the evening. We're gonna continue. We can continue this conversation for hours, but we only are slated for 1 hour, unfortunately. But this is a good show anyway. Now the question is, how can hearing allies in the industry help amplify authentic deaf voices and stories?
All right. You want me to say something? All right.
Of course I do.
So I am thinking about those who are in Hollywood, those who are, successful already. For example, Marley Matlin. Who else? Lauren Ridloff. The names, those names. Also, CJ, those individuals, what do they all have in common? So first of all, they have grit. They really worked hard. That's number one. The other thing, they all have friends. They have someone who believed in them. Now, that takes a variety of forms. So the basic idea is no one is successful alone. No one. At the same time, I think that it's also dangerous to latch on to the concept that we need you for me to be successful. That concept is a bit dangerous because then we're out here begging, we're out here reaching for someone. So, it happened that they have a network that helped things move along. But at the same time, those who are successful, they showed up. They worked hard. So for me, I'm not comfortable with the idea that, hey, I come here, be an ally. I'm not comfortable with that. I will show up. I will work hard. Then if it happens to be that there's people who are nice, people who see me, who build that relationship, fine, let's build a relationship. That does go a long way. So, it's kind of a catch-22. It's a yes and a no. It's both at the same time.
Yeah.
Katrina, you want to add
We with
anything?
Ryan with that part about depending on our allies, and yet I agree that you should be more independent because when the industry see you can do it independently, you're stronger and they can work with you. If something happens, somebody don't show up, or you don't have caption technology issue, you're still able to communicate independently. You know, be innovative or something. Stop independent. So that ally is great for the support, but not kind of life support. But not life support. You need to depend on yourself. So I agree with Ryan what they saying. And this question about the hearing allies, I think although deaf people can, feel related and understand, I think this is the point for the hearing community to listen to this answer from this question. I wish the hearing people would ask that more often so they can understand how they can help. I've took some notes. I said that we should advocate, like highlight, show that talent, that representation, that whatever on the social media page, word of mouth networking, people talk. So when you mention names, often they will, oh, I remember that name. I heard that name often. Yeah, I'm interested in that person. Come on over here. Let's see what you got. When you have a word of mouth, you speak it. It helps more. When the deaf people, you can't understand how they speak. You can't say it. They always rely on texting or posting, but hearing people can talk. So if they use their mouth more often to advocate, elevate, highlight the deaf times, all of that, that would be great. That's about it. This summed up everything, really. Yeah.
And
Great.
yeah, one more thing. This is Ryan. I just wanted to add one more thing. I know our time, there's only 5 minutes left, so we need to wrap it up. But I think one thing that I want the audience to understand is, why am I personally passionate about this? Why am I interested in media? Why am I interested in the film industry? Why is that important? Because when we control the narrative, we influence how the world sees us. That is the key.
That.
And that's what's so important to understand. So, as I was trying to state earlier, I'm passionate about this. I've been passionate for the past, over 40 years. I'm a little bit old. I'll concede that. Thank you. Thank you. Say I still look good.
Say that again.
But the reason why, the deaf identity, we've had language deprivation. We're economically at a disadvantage. And that is how the world sees deaf people. They prejudge our value. They assume that we don't bring much to the table. They assume that we're not intelligent. They assume that we can't be involved, that we can't communicate, whatever that long list of assumptions that they make. Now, the function of media is communication, communicating specific ideas. Now, those ideas get passed around, and that influences how people see other people and see the world. So these hearing allies, if we want more allies, we have to create more. We have to create more stories. We have to write more. We have to direct more. We have to produce more. We have to be involved more. And then they can be aware of our framing. And then we can control how we see ourselves. We can explain the deaf experience. That framing is so key. So if we keep on feeding into the misconception of what other people are already using as representation, we're just going to perpetuate that view that people have of ourselves. We have to take over, change that frame, and so we can disseminate that and say it in our own words. So that's why film industry, media is so important. And it's fun being an actor, it's fun being a star, but at the end of the day, the reason why we do this is to change the world.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to I wanted to add, he said, communicating idea. And I just thought of it that I noticed many deaf people have a hard time communicating ideas because they don't know how to communicate. This industry is very English grammar, and sometimes if they don't understand English grammar, it can hinder them a little bit. Doesn't mean they don't have good idea, but if you don't understand how the human world works, you have to, even though you deaf world and all of that, but you understand the human world, understand English grammar and all of that, so you can be able to communicate ideas and share the story. Also, I wanted to add that yes, anyone who's interested in the industry, go ahead and try it, but also you have to work on your stuff. You need to do personal development because there's going to be so many challenges. Your mindset, your attitude, how you talk to people, signing voice or not, it 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 it, it make people have a perspective of you. If you can't work with a variety of people with different personality, it may be hard. So I would suggest that you learn to do personal development. Always learn, do your best. Your mindset is important. Take care of your stuff so that you can succeed in the industry, any industry, any. Okay, that's all.
That was a great conversation. It's been so rich, and I wish that we can keep going, but I know the audience is just as enthralled and entrenched into this discussion. Um, you know, Deshane said this is a great conversation, and I couldn't agree more. Shaita Johnson said, it's very intriguing. So obviously, you too have brought a wealth of knowledge here, and it's been a benefit for everyone, and also inspiring for future writers, producers, actors, directors. And it's also inspiring the allies to think and remember that being an ally is a choice and a luxury. Do I want to be an ally or not? You get to support the deaf community. That doesn't mean you get to take over. People need to define what ally means to them, so we can also make sure that it is in alignment with the deaf community. Because what does that mean? Because support can look differently, and that's the key. So thank all of you, the panelists, the interpreters, the audience members, everyone who is here. This couldn't happen without all of you. I really appreciate it. And
Thank
I will
you.
see you on the next show, January 17th. Bye-bye. Have a good night.
Bye. Good night.